best over to the W and specifically in Indiana?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is definitely my passing. I think that's at times kind of what gets overlooked in my game. I think I think the scoring and the long shots is what everybody falls in love with, and then obviously going to an organization that has, in my eyes, one of the best post players in the entire world. That's my point guard eyes just light up at that, and obviously Aaliyah's been one of my teammates before, so I'm excited. I can't wait. But yeah.
Sierra, right there.
Hi.
Caitlin, third row to your left. I'm sorry.
Gotcha.
Hi. Who's your biggest rival going into the season?
Honestly, I don't really feel like I have a rival. I think the biggest thing is the WNBA is so competitive right now. Every single time you step on the floor, it's going to be a rivalry. I think so many teams are loaded with so much talent, and this is the most competitive league in the entire world. Less than 144 spots, so you better bring it every single night. And I think that's exactly what I'm going to do. But I think that's exactly how I lived my college career too. Is every single game, no matter what the opponent was, I prepped the exact same way. I prepared the same way. I brought the same fire. I brought the same energy. And I think that's the biggest thing going into my WNBA career.
Andre.
Hey, Caitlin, Howard Med Dalton Edge. Congratulations. I saw you share a moment with Lisa after getting the pick. Can you just take us through, what that conversation was, what you guys were talking about, and what it meant to share that with her after you guys are, essentially the two who believe you can make it to back-to-back Final Fours?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is I vividly remember Coach Bluter coming and doing my home visit in my house during my recruiting. It was at the end of my junior year, I believe, or maybe the beginning of my junior year, around sometime in my end of my junior year. And I think the biggest thing is we talked about this moment, we dreamed of this moment, but she also believed I would be here, and she coached me really hard to get to this moment. There was a lot of ups and downs, and something I really appreciate about Coach Bluter is no matter what awards or success or wins we ever had or I had, is she never stopped coaching me. She never stopped holding me accountable. She always thought there was ways for me to get better. I know she still thinks that, and I still think that, and that's one of the things I just love about her is first of all, she believed I would be here from the day I committed to her, even before that when I was in 8th grade, but also she pushed me really hard to make me as good as I am. Thanks.
Caitlin, the center to your left, second row.
Hi, Jennifer Porty from Let's Talk Women in Basketball. Which player are you looking forward to playing with or against this season?
Definitely Aaliyah Boston. Come on now. And I think also Erica Wheeler, a vet, somebody that's been in the league a long time, somebody that is in the organization, has been in the league, understands what it's about, somebody that I can lean on. I'm 22 years old, and I don't have all the answers in the world. This is something new to me. This is a new challenge, and that's something I'm excited for. But having those type of people around me to lean on and ask questions, or when things get hard, to be there for me. So I think, those two for sure. Yeah.
Caitlin, third row center.
Caitlin, Nancy Armour, USA Today Sports. Two questions. First, you've had a whirlwind and a long season. Are you glad that this part of it is over and that you can kind of focus on being a WNBA rookie? And also, too, you mentioned that Aaliyah. What has your relationship been like, and what are you most looking forward about playing with her?
Yeah, I think obviously the course of the last few weeks has been pretty insane in my life. The last 2 months, playing basketball as long as I possibly could in my college career, and then went home for a couple days. I got off the plane when we landed in Iowa City. I drove directly back home, had my mom cook me a meal, and then I drove back to Iowa City the next day. We had our celebration, and then I flew to LA, flew to New York, and now I'm here sitting at this stage. But I think the biggest thing is I'm just very lucky to be in this moment, and all these opportunities and these things, they're once in a lifetime. And when things might get, tiring, or, you have to do stuff, I think the biggest thing is to look at it as just an opportunity. This isn't something everybody gets to do. It's once in a lifetime, and just trying to soak in every single experience, because I know how quick of a turnaround it is, and I have a lot of people helping me. And then obviously Aaliyah Boston, there's so much you can say about her. Rookie of the year, in my eyes, one of the best players in the league. And like I said, as a point guard, my biggest job is I'm just feeding Aaliyah the ball every single game. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go in there and be like, hey, go make a layup. She's going to make my life easy. But she's incredible. But the thing I love about her is she's just a great person. She loves the game. She knows the game. She sports the game. and she has a smile that affects a lot of people and brings a lot of joy to people when they watch her. So I can't wait to be her teammate again.
Caitlin, in the center section, last row to your right.
Hey, Caitlin, Dylan Manfred from Sportico. Just curious about, all the sponsorships you've had and all the NIL deals. How do you plan to maximize this business opportunity now that you are a professional basketball player in the WNBA? How do you plan to carry that on? And also, what has been the biggest piece of business advice that somebody has given you going into this next phase in your basketball career?
Honestly, like, if I'm being completely honest, I feel like it doesn't change a ton from how I lived my life over the course of the last year. Sponsorships stay the same. The people around me, agents and whatnot, have been able to help me and guide me through the course of the last year. And I don't know if I would be in this moment if it wasn't for a lot of them. And my mom has done a lot. My dad has done a lot. So I think that's just the biggest thing of, the advice I would say is just like lean on the people around you. Like, I don't have to do every single thing. And I think at the same time, like in college, I always said, like, my main focus is on basketball. That's why I've had every other opportunity in my life, is because of the way I carry myself, the way I play the game. And going into my professional career, I plan to do the same exact thing. Is like my focus is solely on basketball. Being the best I can. I don't have to do school anymore. That's pretty exciting. I do have to get my degree. I graduate on May 14th. But other than that, my 110% focus is on basketball. And, when I do that really well and carry myself really well, everything kind of just takes care of itself.
Caitlin, staying in the center section, last row, right in front of the screen.
Hey, Caitlin, you made the morning with the New York Times. How has the filming been for the ESPN documentary with Omaha? And, do you think that'll help get people to watch the WNBA more, to get, a behind-the-scenes look?
Absolutely. And,
Left hand.
I'm actually an executive producer on the show, which has been kind of fun for myself. And when Peyton Manning reached out, obviously it's his production company, I was a little skeptical at first, but I was like, I don't know if I really want to let people into my life like that. I've never really done it. But the way this year has unfolded, the way, obviously Camilla and Kiki, the seasons that they had, I mean, you can't script it any better. It's been absolutely incredible for women's basketball. And if you're a women's basketball fan or you're not a women's basketball fan, I encourage you to watch the show when it comes out. I've seen bits and pieces. It's absolutely amazing. It really allows you to understand the student athlete for way more than just a basketball player. And I think that's really important. I think that's going to allow, fans of the W, fans of college to really, understand what they go through, but love them even more for who they are and what they do and what they're about. So I'm excited for everybody to see it, and it's been a special project.
Caitlin, to your right, second row, all the way to the right.
Hi, Caitlin. Alexa Philp, ESPN. Congratulations. The Fever haven't been to the postseason since Tamika Catchings was on the team. You've had some time to think about what your role could be like in Indiana. How important or how excited are you about the prospect of hopefully getting the Fever back into the playoffs with this young core that you're building around?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's definitely our goal, is to get back to championship habits. And I think it's so cool for me. Like, I vividly remember my freshman year during the bubble, we played Kentucky in the round of 32, and Tamika was on the game, and I was like tweaking out. Like, I couldn't believe she was calling one of my games. Like,
Sierra.
somebody I idolized, somebody that I loved, and somebody that is not only a great basketball player and everything that she did, but she's a tremendous person. And I just think that speaks to the organization as a whole, and everything they do is so first class. And I'm very lucky to be going there to an organization that really loves women's basketball. I mean, you see it today. I think they had 17,000 tickets claimed to just watch the draft. I think that shows the excitement in Indianapolis. It's a great basketball city. Obviously, what the Pacers have been able to do this year is special in the playoffs. And I think I'm just excited. And like you said, there's a lot of young talent on the team, and just getting back to the playoffs and doing everything we can to win a lot of basketball games is certainly the goal.
Caitlin, to your left in the first row.
Hi, Shara Taylor, New York Beacon. Congratulations.
Thanks.
Can you take us through the emotions of being the #1 all-time scorer in the NCAA, to the emotions you felt when you heard your name called today?
Yeah, honestly, I feel like this was definitely a little bit more emotional for me. And I think that's because, when you're in the heat of competition, you don't have time to, really feel your emotions. You're so competitive and you're so fiery. You're not really worried about all that. And I think that was, the biggest thing through my career is, first of all, I was able to have a lot of closure in the way my career ended, and everything that I was able to do. Obviously, I played the maximum number of games I could play my senior year, and obviously we didn't win, but I feel like you did everything you can to be in that moment and compete as hard as you can. But when when you're kind of just sitting at a table waiting for your name to be called, I think that really allows the emotions to feed you, and you're with your family. Like, obviously, playing a basketball game, I'm not out there with my family, so sharing that moment with them and enjoying it, and people that have really had my back and believed in me more than anyone is super special.